Oh God, I missed it. I did it again. I had the mute button on. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Beyond Time YouTube channel. It is October 28th, 2021, and we are back for another edition, the second edition today of Let's Talk Live. Yes, 2 times in a row. I'm starting to feel like Tim Wright here, streaming 24 hours a day. But I am back and on track. And I have a special guest for you guys this evening. I'm going to bring him in a second. SLC Watch Collector is a fan of the channel here, watches the channel all the time. And he actually hit me up and he said, hey, love to come on the show and show my collection. So I'm going to bring in SLC. And what's up, man? How you doing?
How's it going? I'm doing awesome. How are you?
I'm great, man. I'm great. I know
Good.
A couple of streams ago, you reached out to me and you're like, hey, man, I'd love to come on and show my collection sometime. So I was like, hey, that's what we do here. That's what we do here. So
yeah, I'm way excited to talk about my watch collection and kind of my watch journey. So it should be fun.
Okay, man. So I want to let you guys know SLC has a pretty impressive collection from what I've seen on his Instagram. I'm not sure if he had all his pieces up there, but as you guys saw from the thumbnail, he definitely has a Patek, which is a step in the right direction.
We have 5 Pateks, so that'll be okay. We'll have a few to look
awesome,
at.
Man.
Yeah.
So, cool. Listen, I've dropped the link for any of the crew members. If you guys want to jump on, please do. Let's hang out. SLC said, let's get the crew on and hang out. So if you guys want to jump on, please do. So tell me where this all started. Where did your passion and love for watching?
All right, I'll start here. So this watch here, which is a Guess sports watch, was given to me when I was 10 years old from my grandparents as a Christmas present. This watch I wore all through my later years of elementary school, junior high, and high school. So it is this is the watch that got me into, I guess would be a disease of some sort or an addiction. But yeah, that's where it all began.
So you got this from your grandparents and you're like, whoa, this is my first real watch. So
yeah. So
you never had a watch before.
No, I didn't really know. Obviously, I didn't know kind of what I thought it was cool. I've always been notoriously growing up. My grandma would always take me to Nordstrom's with her and go shopping, and I love shopping. And I always loved going by and looking at all the fancy jewelry and all the watches and whatnot. So when I was given this piece, it cheered up those emotions in my stomach of the just being interested in horology. I really I thought that it was awesome that the bezel clicked and just funny things when you're a kid, right? And I wouldn't take it off. I wore it all the time. So it's my first piece that really was got me into the hobby.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So all right, so now you have this Guess watch. Now your love for horology starts picking up. Where's this? It
starts picking up some speed. So from that Guess watch, I went into obviously you're young, right? So don't have a lot of money. I had purchased a lot of Seikos and Citizens and kind of focused on those brands. My first really piece where I had that oomph of buying it was this, which I'll take it off and show you.
Sure.
It's a Seiko Sportura Kinetic. So what drew me to this piece? So I purchased this when I was about 19 years old. This kind of marks, this is another one of my watches that I would never sell, marks kind of my first business deal that I successfully did when I was about 18. It was $800. I bought it off eBay when eBay was first doing its thing. And I believe it came from Japan, so it wasn't here in the States. But what I was really excited about this, it's not fully automatic, obviously, because it's a Seiko. I think it has like an electric drum in it as well. Sure. But it had an automatic movement with the sapphire case back. I thought that was so cool. Like being able to see the movement
conversation work. And now you have a real conversation.
And it's big. It's kind of when big watches were cool. You can put it on my wrist to kind of show you. Big watches were cool, and you know it had some flash to it. So I really enjoyed it, and wore this one for a long time. I actually had it serviced and refinished. This is one of the only watches that I had polished. I had them polish it, and then I'm just put it into my watch box. I haven't worn it since. So still works. Chrono works great, and it was an awesome watch.
So when you got this, when you started first wearing this, and you had people come up to you and they're like, oh, you know, like someone would notice it, like, let me see that, you know, let me see this one. You're always like taking off and going, look at the back. It's so cool.
No, I mean, the front's cool. And you don't know what a chronometer is. We're only 20 years old. And like, what would you use a chronometer for? Like, who cares?
Right.
But check this out.
And then people are like, oh my God.
It's not a battery powered watch. Like, you know, it was cool. It was fun, and had a lot of good memories. A lot of fun. You know, this was kind of the watch I wore through college. So it has a good attachment to me. So that one for sure too is not going anywhere. So it's a good watch.
Yeah, it's cool that you say memories, because that's one thing that I always say about, like, on my channel with watches is like, the minute you get something, you remember when you get that, and just how we just kind of joking, like, oh, you know, check this out. And you probably can think back to those times when you were, you know, taking this thing off multiple times and handing it to people. And, you know, that was a big deal, because probably, you know, the people that you came in contact with didn't know about this stuff. And then, you know, you're passing on maybe, you know, something for them to get into and look into. And it's just cool, man. It's cool how like watches completely bring like people together. It's a cool thing.
No, it's awesome. And just like to be able to share it and when you first, like, when you kind of feel like a movie star, right? When somebody's like, hey man, tell me a little bit about your watch. That's cool, right? Like, you kind of feel like, oh, I kind of feel important a little bit. Like, it's a little bit of an ego, right? And it feels cool to be able to talk about it and tell them what you're excited about. And when they take interest in it, it's always cool. So that's a good one.
Yeah, real quick, I was joking. Kelly, on her own time when she was on the channel, she's like, her and her husband go out and they'll be like in the supermarket or something, and they always say, she always looks around, and I do this too, to see like what people have on their wrist. And then they'll joke, you know, she'll joke, you know, her and her husband will joke, and like, should we go over and say something? Like, you know, and they'll walk over and they'll be like, she said this one guy, she was like, nice Submariner, and he's like, it's a Rolex. He just had no, like, it's a Rolex.
Totally like, nah, I'm not going to waste my time. Don't waste my time. All right. Not cool enough. I've had that a few times too. So the last watch, so I only have 3 watches. All my watches I could sell, I could trade. And that's really how I've been, right? Like, I don't have 100 watches. It's been I like the watches for the experience. I have the experience for the watch. I enjoy it. And then some of them I keep and some of them I've moved on. But there's 3 watches that I will never, ever think of selling. So those are the first 2, obviously, with the attachments that I have with them.
Yeah.
And this is the last one, the third one. It's a Bulova.
Cool.
Bracelet watch. Now, why this one is so important to me, my dad never, ever in his whole life has purchased himself a watch. He doesn't wear jewelry. He's not into watches. And this was a watch that probably about 15 years ago, he was gifted. You can see there's a little crest here. It's the medical crest from the University of Utah. For his, he was given it thank you for working here for as long as you have, and dedication. He does a lot of stuff with the medical school. So they gave him this watch, and he just kind of sock drawered it, never wore it, never told anyone that he had it. And when I started really getting into, I've always collected watches, but I started to try to include him in my collection. He gifted me this watch. So that's something that's really
Can you open
special
it
to
up
me.
for us? Can you see
Yeah.
the full bracelet? And while you do that, I have actually Marco's going to join us right now. And I'm going to bring him in. Hey, man, what's up, dude?
What's up, man?
What's going on, boys?
We've come into he's showing his Bulova right now, which is kind of cool. Wow,
Yeah.
wow, that's really cool. Let me bring that.
Yeah. So I mean, obviously, I'm not gonna wear
yeah, that's cool though.
Gold-plated
yeah
Bulova watch, but you know, it's cool in my collection, and
right.
it's a piece that I have another memory with, and something that's important to me. As my ear pod falls out.
Let me just get to some comments really quick in the chat. Wow, I'm sorry guys, I missed so much of this. SLC and I have kind of just been kind of chatting on here, but let me get to some chats real quick. We got Big Sal in the chat saying, "What's up, Marco? How you doing?" And Big Sal saying, is Marco saying back, "What's up, Sal?" Danger in the chat, upvote. Let's see. Sal says, "Thanks for doing the stream beyond time. I've had to leave the other stream. Couldn't take it anymore." Hey, man, thanks for coming over and joining us over here. Finally, Danger says, finally, quality watch talk. Quality watch talk. And we got Gentleman's Hangout in the chat saying, "Good evening, quicker than draw." Thank you. Marty's in the chat saying, "Good day, gents. Upvote. Appreciate you joining us, man." Let's see. I'm sorry. I missed so many of these chats, guys. I got shot in the dark. On the channel saying hello all. Mike David in the chat saying hello everybody. And yeah, we're caught up, man. So let's get into the probably some of the bread and butter here, right?
Okay, so then we'll move on.
We're building up,
and I'll kind of just keep building it up. And if anyone has questions or whatever, just let me know. Or if you get bored of a watch, I'll skip it.
No, I'm sure Marco will have lots of questions when we get to the higher stuff. So
right, so cool. So the next watch in my collection is a Tudor Black Bay. So it's a Black Bay 41, which has been awesome on a NATO strap. This was kind of one of my first higher horology pieces, I guess. I would say. So it's been a good watch. I've enjoyed it. Don't wear it much now, but a good watch in my collection. And then another one that's kind of an interesting story. I always wear my watches on my right hand. So being able to find a correct watch, the Tudor LHD. So that one was kind of fun because the crown was on the correct side.
Left-handed. Yeah.
So it kind of drew my attention to it, with it being something that I wear on my right hand.
Sure.
So it's cool. And then as far as like from my Tudor journey, went into obviously kind of just kept going and going. Went into Rolex. I've owned quite a few different Rolex pieces. Currently have a Pepsi GMT that I don't have with me now, but I have that. And then I'm just going to show one of my wife's pieces so you can kind of get an idea of why. So this is a Datejust with the pink sunburst dial. So it was my wife's first watch that I had purchased for her, which kind of led me into wanting the blue dial, Datejust 41 with the fluted bezel. So I have that one as well. So that one,
beautiful.
Here. Yeah,
I love that.
Stick dial, white gold bezel, which has been.
I'm so glad you have fluted bezels, because I just can't do a Datejust with a smooth bezel. It just doesn't look right. It has to have the fluted bezel, and it has to, it has to have the Jubilee bracelet. It's just every time that I vision, a Datejust, that's just how it has to be. It's just the classic look to it. So
yeah, and I love like the Jubilee bracelet is super comfortable. It's probably one of the more comfortable bracelets that I have, and it fits really well. And I feel like as an all day, like if you were just to say, hey, what's one Rolex that's a little different than obviously say like a sub or a GMT or whatnot, I think it's a good choice. I mean, obviously they're harder to get now, but I think it's a good watch. Somebody was looking just for one watch. And then in my journey through Rolex, I owned Sky Dweller, owned a Panda Daytona, which I sold because I was offered a black stainless steel Daytona that I fell in love with, and that I like a lot more than the white, due to just the depth of the dial.
I'm with you. I prefer the black also. No offense to the Panda owners or anything
No,
like that.
pandas are
They're
great.
great watches. Yeah.
Fantastic. I had a few. I'll just kind of air out what my thoughts were on it. I don't know, the Daytona writing drove me bonkers. I felt like it was a little light and that it was a little pixelated, just a little. Like, I mean, couldn't just look at it and say, oh, it looks like somebody copied it. But it wasn't my favorite. So I was offered the black dial Daytona, obviously jumped on it and kept this one in my collection. So yeah.
It's funny too. I think most sports watches also belong like as black dials. I don't know. They're just more versatile, I find, you know?
Yeah.
Black
They're a lot easier to wear. I feel like the Panda not that a watch is hard to wear, but it was harder to wear. It did pop a lot more. I feel like the black dial just
it tones it down. Yeah.
Tones it down a lot.
Yeah.
But I like that this has the silver rings in the sub dials as well. That was another draw to the black.
Let me bring that up. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, very, very cool. Nice. Gorgeous piece. Now, how long have you had that one for?
Oh, I've had this one probably for 6 months, 7 months.
Cool.
And then I had the Panda I had it for about 9 months. But like I've said, I've kind of evolved my collection into, keeping some pieces, trading some pieces.
Sorry, some shenanigans going on in the chat.
Oh, no worries. I'm not.
That's awesome,
cool.
Man. That's so cool.
All right. And from there, I guess we can go into the higher horology. So in my market center or area, Salt Lake City, we don't have a lot of ADs. Our primary location right now is OC Tanner, and they only have a small amount of brands currently. So natural progression. I'm a salesman, so I enjoy being sold to sometimes. So it's just one of those things where it's fun to go and hear about heritage and hear about people's history and what they're excited about. So the next level, they are a Patek AD. So after going through all my Rolexes, that kind of was the next step of my watch evolution and collection. My first Patek, it was a 5960G.
Oh God.
Which is a fairly complicated sports watch. It has some fun things that drew me to this particular watch. Being obviously flyback chronograph. That's way cool. And if you want to put me in full screen and I'll show you how it works.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is that cool?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I got bad luck. Sorry, I don't have the studio lighting.
Yep.
So what you do, instead, most chronographs, you would need to stop the top pusher and then reset. With a flyback, you just push it and it automatically resets.
Right.
And you can keep doing that to time, which is cool. Super cool. So I thought that was pretty cool. Go ahead.
Yeah. Another good thing also about flyback chronographs like that is you can't mess up the mechanism. So if you accidentally hit the pusher, you know what I mean, while it's on your wrist, or it engages the chronograph. If you have a lateral clutch and it's non-flyback, it actually will really badly damage the mechanism if it's powered and it goes to the end of its sequence. Anyways,
Right. And so this one too, it doesn't have seconds. So I just a lot of times just run the chrono, and then when it starts, when I feel like when I adjust it, I just push it. It's kind of fun. And the other thing too that I liked about it has a day-night indicator, which is kind of cool. I've enjoyed that. Not really useful, but it's fun to see it to change through. Then it's an annual calendar.
Hang on. We're gonna pull that up. Oh yeah.
So the movement is really pretty as well.
Yeah.
So that it's a cool watch. So that was my first tipping my toe into the Patek life, which from there was a slippery slope. I got sold, and then it was I had to have other pieces. So the next.
Just before, if you don't mind me asking, before we move on, can I ask you what drew you to Patek specifically? Over obviously there's there's hundreds of brands out there, right?
Right.
But Patek obviously is a brand that a lot of people gravitate towards. Is there any particular reason why their piece?
The design cue for me, I really like. I like the look of it. I like the feel of it. I like that it's mean, kind of old man's watch, but it's not. Like it just really
They're
pulls me
timeless.
in.
It's a mature
Timelessly
watch.
elegant,
Yes.
right?
It's a mature
Yes.
watch. It's
Yeah.
You've gone through, you know, that in all due respect, that kind of teenage stage of watchers, the teenage to young 20s. Now you've stepped up to Rolex, the next tier, and now you're going up
Right.
into a more mature watch. You know, not that
Right.
Rolex is not mature at all, but this is top end mature watches. So
it's just it's a different kind of a different brand, and I do like the history and the heritage. I like that the Stern family owns it, and that was something that was exciting to me. The story was really exciting, and I have to say my ADs, they're incredible. The time that they spend with me with Patek is a lot different than Rolex, and that was something for me that drew me to the brand. Just I could see their excitement, right? And they're like, "Oh man, you just have to look at this," and that was fun. So it was good. And then so from there,
real quick, are they when you go and you sit with your AD and they're taking you through Pateks, are they explaining to you like Marco does with all the intimate details? That's awesome.
Even more in depth, right? Like a lot of these guys, one of the salesmen there is one of their top Patek salesmen, and he's just like so into it, and it just spends the time with you, and it's like really like look at these different look at these different functions, look at the different movements. Let me tell you why they did this, and so that was for me is something that I enjoy, and it's been good. But from there,
sorry, real quick, I'm going to pause you real quick. No, guys, please stick around. Towards the end of the stream, the Cassiope was not claimed, so I am going to give that away tonight. So if you guys want to enter for that, it's super easy. It's a free giveaway. We're going to have some fun at the end of the stream before we wrap it up, and I'm going to give this puppy away. So SLC, please continue. Please continue.
Oh, no worries. So from there, the concave bezel is incredible. Here, let me show that.
Yeah.
So you can see if you can see it.
And we got Ali in the chat real quick. Says, hey, good to see SLC once
again.
Absolutely. Yep. Cool.
So it like has this concaveness where it flows so good. So it's pretty cool. So from there, I have always been really drawn to the 5235. That was a watch that like I've seen it before I really got into Patek. I had followed it. I'd almost purchased one a while back, but I was just really nervous. Like, I don't know. So my AD luckily had one that had come in on trade, and gave me a call, and I jumped on it. I'm like, I cannot not do that. So the 5235 is a regulator. For those who don't know, they use it to regulate time. So a watchmaker would use it to time their pieces. So their main thing when timing pieces is minutes. So that's why you have the big sweeping minute hand, which is this long hand here. Sorry. And then they don't really care about the hours as much. They don't have to be as exact. So the hours, and then you have this, the hours are up here, and you have the seconds on the bottom. It's also an annual calendar. And then this had a lot of their advanced research. So for this particular watch, Marco, you can give us the rundown on that if you like, but it's a very special watch that's kind of under the radar.
Yeah, it features the one-off. So this movement's only used in this watch, right? And although it doesn't say expressly advanced research, I think it has like a couple of details, right? We're talking Pulsamax escapement, Gyromax balance, and there's one other I can't remember feature that's unique to this watch. But you're basically getting a Patek advanced research without it saying explicitly, right?
Right, and paying the hundreds of thousands of dollars for it. Yeah, the price of it is pretty competitive in the market. And when it first was released in 2012, they weren't being delivered, so people were sketched out. They weren't being delivered, so they weren't thinking that they were going to be able to make them. And then they had a bunch of buzz initially, and then that buzz kind of wore off, and then the watches were being delivered. So it kind of was a hype, not a fell, but it just didn't quite get as much attention as I think they would like. But it's an amazing watch.
So I have a question for you. You know, when you started to step into this kind of higher horology, you know, going into Patek, what was your approach when you go into the AD? Because is it something that you can go in and actually, you know, unlike a Rolex, can you go in and actually purchase it, or is it something you have to build that relationship to get to that point to actually purchase one?
So I've been building my relationship for a long time. Some of the pieces, yes, there's still pieces that you can see in the case, just like, well, I guess not really like Rolex anymore. When I first went into Rolex, you could see Cellinis and you could see full gold pieces and whatever else, full gold Daytonas and whatnot. So there are still some pieces, but the majority of the pieces too, they get way less pieces than Rolex. So they're a little more concerned. I don't know if it's concerned.
Flipping. Subjective
to who they're selling them to. They're wanting to make sure that they're long, at least from what I've been told. Obviously, it's got to be sales, but whatever.
Yep. Right.
That they're looking for homes that are going to keep the watch for a long period of time, whether the watch appreciates or not. They're just concerned about the life of the watch. So it's probably, if I was to like gauge it, it's harder than Rolex.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. So is your AD the same as the Rolex and Patek, and that's how you built your?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Relationship, and they have Breitling, Tudor, which I've purchased a few Breitling, purchased a few Tudor. So I had a long history with them, and then obviously too, you're kind of then express your interest into the Patek, and that kind of just went from there.
Yeah, I was going to ask you what kind of pushed you into that next step. Was it something when you're going in and kind of seeing these for the first time? And
yeah, seeing them in the case, right? Like, ooh, what's that? What's that? Ooh, that looks. Oh, I can see them. Look at that movement, right? Like, it's insane. It's beautiful.
Were they taking them out and showing to you at that time?
Yeah. You could probably go into a Patek dealer or AD now, and they're going to show you watches. But just was it started kind of just churning a fire in me, I guess, of like, this is like, I don't want to say it's all watch brands are important, but it was just kind of, for me, it felt like next level, like, oh wow, this is really cool. There's a few things design wise and just history wise that were a little different than Rolex. This is gonna be horrible to say. I got bored with Rolex.
It's okay.
After I had the Panda, don't meet your heroes. It ruined me. Like, it totally ruined me after I got when I had the Panda. I'm like, man, I've been like, and I bought the Panda gray market. I did not get that one. So that was something that I had to pay for that experience, but I'm glad I did it. Like, I checked it off, and come to find out it wasn't that exciting. And that kind of like, I still like Rolex, but that kind of took the wind out of my sails.
So I just want to kind of elaborate on this a little bit more. So you've gone through Rolex, you've built the courage, you're starting to see Patek, and you've now built this courage to go in and start asking about this. So what was it like the day you go in and you're like, hey, I'm interested in this particular Patek? I always say Patek. Sorry, Patek.
I know I'd say both. I don't know which one's right.
It's my Boston accent.
Yeah,
so
it is what it is. It doesn't matter. I had started expressing interest. I was shown a few watches that I wasn't that excited about, and then they brought the 5960 out, and I was like, ooh, like, and it wasn't something that even at the time that I was like really even prepared to do. Right? Like, they're just like, hey, look at this one, and two, the 5960 has been discontinued, so it's no longer a watch that's available. And when they brought it out, I was like, just the look of it, the vintage had a vintage vibe, had all the cool complications that I'm not. I mean, I had a Sky Dweller, which had an annual calendar, but it just was it kicked me in the stomach, and I had to have it, so picked it up.
So if I can ask, on the 5235, I got to try the R version in Ireland, and the brushing of the dial is really insane.
It's next level.
Yeah, it's really incredible. I don't know how it is on the G. Is it just as pronounced?
It's not as so I've actually been fortunate enough to try them both on. And the R is a darker metal. So you can see the brushing, the stripes in the brushing a lot more than you can in the G. But the G, when it hits the light, like, let's see if I can catch it. It's maybe hard, but if you can.
Yeah, it's almost like silverish blue.
Yeah, it's a little more muted, but then once you catch it, it's like, whoa.
Yeah.
And then the case where you can, it's a little more pronounced on the G with where it's polished and brushed, so it's brushed on the sides and you can kind of see how it's polished. From the R, but the R is incredible as well.
They're both incredible, to be fair. Yeah. And one thing I mentioned in the kind of groups, the WhatsApp groups, is that was a very unusual watch for Patek at the time, because they didn't, like, now we see them doing blue a lot more, right? But they stayed away from colors. It was really black and white were their traditional colors, right? And the odd salmon would be very, very special. But otherwise, like, it was the 5110P and the 5130P, the two world time. Otherwise, they totally stayed away from blue. And this was, I mean, we're talking about like almost blue gray dial, blued hands, blue strap.
It has like blue railroad tracks on it.
Right. It was just so different. Like regulator dial as well.
Yeah. No, it was a super special watch.
Oh yeah.
So for the collection. So
now if we move on and you pull out a 5270p, I'm gonna be really jealous, because that's my watch.
Yeah, that is a beautiful watch, and I've seen that one and tried that one on, and it is incredible. It's a beautiful watch.
It's just amazing.
Cars and Chrono, I know he has one, and every time he puts it on, it's like, wow, it's next level. So no, that's a cool watch. I know, my headphones, man.
It's okay. If you have to grab it, take your time.
It's all right. I'll just go with one. So from there, from the 5235, I went with.
So everybody knows, real quick, just so everybody knows, backstage, SLC's headphones just literally kept falling out every 5 seconds. So I'm surprised they stayed in this long.
Yeah, I went and bought new headphones just because I didn't want to. And still, they're not great. Don't buy AirPods, all right? They're not great. Not even the regular ones. And so from there, I picked up this 6119R.
Ooh.
So what special?
Piece.
Classic dress piece. Awesome. I don't have any dress pieces in my collection, and I am like I do dress up, not a lot, but I feel like you could wear this watch more as just a dress piece. Like, it's a good watch. Like in the summertime, I was wearing like polos and shorts, and it's an awesome watch. Yeah. It does, sure Marco could say, has an upgraded movement, 72-hour power reserved. It's hacking seconds, which is a little unique for their hand wind movements. But I just had to add a manual wind watch.
Lungs.
Yeah, let's see if we can kind of.
Yeah, because there's two barrels, right?
Flip it up. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, that's just special. You could just tell how special a piece like that is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Yeah. So I wear this one quite a bit. I've actually enjoyed it a lot. It's super, super, super thin, just dress piece, but I really enjoy that one as well. It's a good piece.
It's super elegant too, right? It corrects everything that I feel the 5196 lacked, right? Which was the seconds is in the perfect spot now because it's a movement design for the case. It's also not a tiny movement with a huge spacer, right? Like it corrects, I think, all the design features. I even like, the hobnail bezel because it's a good throwback to Patek of old, right? Which is what I feel is really special.
No, it does. It has this awesome feel to it, right? And let's see if you can see the double hobnail. It's incredible, right? Like, it's just such an awesome piece.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that one's one of my favorites. So that's a good piece.
So John Polson says, my favorite piece right there, the 6119. That's awesome. Yeah. Very, very cool.
Yeah. It's an awesome piece. So from there, I don't have any sports watches right from Patek. Need a sports watch. So I had picked up the 5167A, which is the Aquanaut.
Oh yeah. Oh my God. That's so nice. Very, very cool.
So pretty awesome. I've enjoyed this one. It's been a fun watch.
And that's on a rubber. It's on rubber, correct?
It's rubber, yeah.
Yeah,
it's rubber. This does have, it's the newest version of it, so it has the 4-prong latch, which latches just a little bit better.
That's so nice.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, that's so cool. Now, how long have you had this piece?
I've had this piece for probably 3 months, 4 months. So it's a newer. This is my newest piece. Newest acquisition was the 5167. So it's been a cool piece. So I have to show my wife's piece for her birthday.
Sure.
I was trying to get her a date just, and reached out to my AD, and we jokingly asked about a Luce, just as a joke, not thinking that would come through. And fortunately enough, I was able to get for her a 5267. So we kind of have.
You have the his and hers.
You have the his and hers.
Incredible.
Oh my
awesome.
God, what a diamond bezel. Oh my God.
Yeah.
His and hers Patek and his and hers Rolex, right?
Hey, yeah, that's what we're trying to go for, right? Like we're trying.
That's awesome.
She didn't understand watches until I kind of ruined her. But no, it's a fun watch. It's a cool watch. Yeah, it's been fun. This is a quartz movement.
Okay, yeah.
But it's been fun. So yeah.
Cool.
But yeah, that kind of goes as my higher horology pieces. I have a few other pieces that are kind of small, not quite as cool, but for the most part, that's my collection. We have.
Let me wipe the sweat off real quick first.
Okay. Well, any questions or anything on those other pieces, or no? Not really. We good?
Not at the moment. No. We'll come back to it if anything.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So I guess the last piece I'll show is another one that in my Seiko days, a watch that I was super excited about and I could never find. And then I ended up finding it a couple of years ago. I was able to add it to the collection, but it's a Seiko, what they call their helmet.
Oh,
because it looks like a scuba diving helmet.
That. Oh yeah.
So it's from 1972. It was actually one of the first mass-produced chronograph movements.
Omar says real quick, he says, I would marry SLC just for the watches.
Yeah.
I think he's taken.
Yeah. Hey, I don't know. If something happens, I'll let him know.
Wow. So yeah, Seiko was actually first on the market, right? First automatic chronograph movement.
So
this is basically. I mean, we're going back to the history of watch. It wasn't as highly regarded, right, as the Alchemar finishing probably isn't as good. Maybe the reliability isn't either. But I mean, we're still talking about the first of its kind, right? So which is, I mean, in any time you have the first in anything, it's extremely special.
Yeah, it's cool. So it was a fun piece.
Where did you find that? What's the story on this? Where'd you find this?
eBay.
Dude, I thought it was gonna be something like I stumbled into this obscure watch shop and there it was
4 a.m. while I was in Greece or something.
Sparks flew, emotions ran high. I was in Venice with no, it wasn't cool. It was eBay. It was probably like at 2 a.m. after drinking or something, and I was like, oh, found one, buy it.
But see, you can make a story up like that. I was in Venice, and I stumbled onto this street.
I actually met up with Oshin for pizza.
No, that's what I was gonna say. Like, met all these cool watch dudes. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, that's really. I mean, let's see, what else can we do?
Yeah, take out whatever, man. We got time.
Let's see. I'll do one more, just because of your Bell and Ross posts and your newly acquired Bell and Ross. I have to say, it's like
the most talked about watch brand on these channels now. Ever since I got that, it's so funny,
dude. But what are your honest feelings? Like, it's a decent watch for the money.
It's
It's
so
awesome.
fun.
And I will say I'm not gonna say for the money. It's a really good watch. The finishing is it's good, right? So my Bill and Ross.
Oh, cool, man.
You know,
Yeah.
I wear this occasionally. It's a fun watch.
Right. It's great to knock around in. And that was the purpose why I got mine, is a daily driver. You know, I can just wear it out to the ceramic case and I don't have to worry about it. And it just, you know, with me, I'm always like knocking into everything. So it's a great watch for me. So that's cool. How long have you had that one for?
4 years, 4 or 5 years.
Cool.
It was like right in my kind of getting excited about Swiss watches. Kind of was one of my first. Then I bought back in the day like a Breitling Super Avenger, right? 46 millimeters. It was huge. Had that for a little while. I had a Breitling Chronoliner for a little while. Had the Breitling Super Ocean Heritage for a little while with the cool bezel, which my daughters were super upset when I sold that because that was the rainbow watch that they loved. But no, it's been fun. Like I love watches, and I love like it's something that I can share with my family too, that they enjoyed as well. So it's fun to kind of do everything together. But yeah, it's good.
That's cool. So all right, so let me ask you, favorite piece in your collection now. What's something that is your
if I can only do like, can I do a 3-piece combo meal?
Yeah, sure.
Is that what we call it?
Yeah, we'll
3-piece combo meal.
3-piece combo meal.
All right, here we go.
Fair, that's fair.
Okay, is it fair? Is that
fair?
fair?
Definitely. Come on, you guys honing on one.
All right, here we go. So I would use the Aquanaut as my daily.
Yeah.
It would be kind of the go-to watch, and if I'm wearing it around, that would be in the 3-piece. I can't let go of the 5235.
No.
The horology and just the specialness of it.
Yeah.
It is very special, and it's a piece that I love it. Like I love the regulator dial and that style.
To me, other than the 5970, which is at this point they're the land of unreachable, right? 5970. I think that's probably my favorite modern Patek.
Yeah. No, it's incredible. It's fun. And I guess what's hard to like with Patek is there aren't a lot of them. So when you wear them and people see them, they're like, "Whoa, what is that?" And then, a lot of my colleagues, they're like, "Well, why did you buy that?" And then you flip it over, and you're like, "This is why I bought that." All right, check this out. And they're like, "All right, I get it." So it's a special watch. That would be my 3-piece combo.
By the way, just one thing to add. I know you mentioned it was a watch that a lot of watchmakers would time like their other pieces with. That was kind of the regulated format. It's also a scientist watch, right? Because like, let's say in experiments and also, for example, even for doctors, when they're timing like the pulses of people, right? They could really easily look to the seconds. So count to 6 seconds and then multiply by 10, get an accurate reading if they don't have a chronograph or stuff like that. So yeah, it was a very useful tool for a couple of reasons.
Yeah, I know it's super
regulated format. Awesome. It's gorgeous too. Very unique.
Yeah, it's different. And when somebody sees it, they're like, "Well, how do you tell the time? Can you tell the time?"
Right. It's a good conversation piece, right?
It is. It's very good conversation piece. So I love that watch. And then my last.
I'm sorry. I think it's pretty cool that like all your Pateks are even though you have the collection, they're all very different, which is kind of cool.
They are.
And sometimes people that get into a specific brand or whatever, a lot of the watches start looking the same, in their collection. But I think that's really cool that you've kind of within Patek you've kind of diversified it, and that's pretty good.
Yeah, and that's kind of and to be fair, that's another one of the reasons that obviously I love Rolex still, and if somebody was like, "Hey, come by right now, I would really like a day date." That's something that I'd like to add to the collection of Yellow World day date. And if obviously I would get that watch. But that was one thing after owning, like I've owned Triple Black GMT, owned quite a few different Rolexes. I felt like after wearing them a lot, they're very similar, where the Patek is very unique. Each piece is really different, and depending on the vibe or whatever I'm trying to go for that day, they're way different. So even though it's within the same brand, so that's been
And
cool.
to be fair to you, I've had that same feel. It's kind of messed up to say this, right? But because I've been exposed recently to so many watches, right? Be it in London and Ireland, and obviously, you know, I just took the time to take in as many watches as possible. There's really like objective differences, right? As you move up that I guess to the higher horology space, but Rolex kind of seems almost, you know what I mean? It's oyster case, either oyster bracelet or Jubilee type bracelet. You know, it's a lot of the same, you know, like gloss black dial, and you know, it's hard to like justify like 1, 2 more than that, at least for me personally. So I totally get where you're coming from.
Yeah. No, so that's kind of I don't not like Rolex. I like Rolex.
Right, it's a phenomenal watch, bro. I think
like
value for money at retail is as good as it gets, right?
Oh yeah, it's incredible. And then my last would be my 6119R. So I would have kind of special, dress,
yep,
and then sport.
That's awesome.
So
three-piece combo meal.
3-piece combo meal there. Now, can we talk about what I would like to get?
Yes. I was going to ask you.
Where's the collection headed? Yes.
Where is it headed?
Yes.
I want to, and I know I've like probably super chatted Marco 1,000 times on this watch, and whoever else. I really want a 5320, so bad.
Oof.
Which has the syringe hands. It's a perpetual calendar.
Pull it up.
Yeah, pull it up.
Bobby Google. Sean Robinson saying, who would downvote this? Exactly. Who would downvote this? And we got JC saying upvote. Appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. Thanks everybody for sticking around. This has been
one of the most beautiful watches.
Yeah.
I got to see this right in person.
Yeah.
My goodness.
I have never seen one in person, but like just everything. Oh, it just gets me like
the case, the lugs, like the way. So it's a stepped case, right? And then the lugs are triple stepped as well. It's out of this world. And the way that those numerals, because they're applied, right? And then they're filled with lume. It's fucking unbelievable. Excuse my language. It's unbelievable.
Incredible. And it's perpetual.
Can you get closer to the case on that so we can see the lugs?
I'll try to get a better picture.
Yeah,
I can't get close to that. Hold on 1 second.
Just in case anybody hasn't.
This will give a good side profile, right?
Yeah. Oh,
so you see how so it's like a layered. It's just man.
It looks something out of the 40s or 50s. That's kind of that
Art Deco, right? Kind of
Art Deco style, right?
And what's interesting is that it's a perpetual calendar with the running seconds, which Patek never does, right? They just don't do it. And I don't know. I love this. It's almost like a pilot style perpetual calendar. Just one of the most beautiful watches they've ever made. It's incredible.
So Omar saying, please guys, Marco isn't going to sleep if we keep that watch on the screen. Sean Robinson says, wow, that's nice. I've never seen this watch. So Sean, thanks for sticking around. I appreciate that. And we have Future Rust and Dust. I love this piece. That's on my list as well. Awesome. Yeah, I've never seen this. And that beautiful Art Deco style is just fucking amazing. It pops. It looks like something that's just from the future and just, I mean, from the past and just, you know, propelled into the future. It's really cool.
It has a very classic vibe. And I mean, you can, and just, it has the day night indicator, it has the moon phase, you know, it has your leap year indicator. It has, you know, it's incredible. It's a cool piece.
Is there a shot of the back of it that we could see, Marco?
Yeah, of course.
Awesome. So that's the only, if I was to say, only quasi complaint is it's a full rotor.
Yeah.
It's not.
But that's also why it has the running seconds, right? Right. Because the micro rotor movements don't have the running seconds.
No.
So Toyota Mo saying, I think Brian BK has this watch. Right,
yeah, he does. He does.
Cool. Yeah, it does.
And he swears by it.
The full rotor does kind of spoil it, but
right.
if they can't, you know, do the movement without it, obviously.
That doesn't much. I mean, this is That's, I guess, the obscured view of the movement is probably the one knock you can have on this watch. Otherwise, it's just, my God.
Yeah, it's cool.
Oh.
So, anyways, that's the next piece.
So no 5270p.
No, so
We got to build towards.
yeah.
Yeah.
When I tried it on, the width of the case is too big for my arm.
Oh,
So
and
the
I get
lugs
that.
hung
Yeah.
over my wrist,
everybody.
and it just felt a little. I mean, obviously, I don't have. It's $205,000, so that's a big one, but it just was a little big.
Sure.
So
this
sweet.
is the next one on
Salmon
the radar.
dials. That's the next one on the radar that I would like to pick up.
So let me ask. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. No,
yeah, I was just gonna any desire to get maybe a manual wine chrono, because I know obviously Patek is very well known for manual. Because I guess the 5172 would be the same kind of case as this one, right? It's the same case with that blue dial.
Yeah.
I guess it would maybe take the place of your 5960 in that case, right?
It would, and that's the only. But look at the movement on that though. Like
we'll do a quick. I'm sorry, buddy. Toyomo, we'll do a quick rundown after we get through the kind of this section really quick. So hang in there, buddy.
Yeah, the movement on this is spectacular.
Oh my god,
it's outrageous.
Yeah. That's the only thing, right? Perpetual versus manual wine chrono. I guess it's the hard decision. To be fair, I haven't seen this. I've never seen this.
I've tried it on. It's incredible.
Yeah. I mean, I can imagine, right? Yeah, I can imagine. So I've tried on like the Corne de Vache. I've tried on the perpetual calendar chronograph equivalent from VC. I don't know what it's called, to be fair. But I've never tried like a 5270 or anything like that from Patek, and I've never tried this either, which hopefully one day I will. But yeah,
when I tried it on, I didn't at that time in my Patek life and education, I didn't know what I was trying on, to be fair.
Gotcha.
So it was like I tried it on. The dial is incredible. The matte blue is absurd. Still has the syringe hands, which are really pretty.
Is it like a grainy blue?
It is a grainy.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, no, it's incredible. It's really incredible. Which the 5960 is close to being kind of that same grainy blue.
Yeah.
On my G, but that one it's incredible in person. It's beautiful.
Because I think it'll be similar money, right, to the 5320, or about the same.
It's less. I think it's in the 70s.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry. Interesting dilemma, right? Manual wine chrono versus perpetual.
Yeah.
Real quick, go ahead. Go ahead, SLC. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was going to say a couple questions for you. So Omar is asking, SLC, what do you think of the polarizing Zeitwerk?
All those Instagram photos right now, of the Zeitwerk, it's incredible. I wouldn't mind one. I just don't have an AD or someone for I gotta and obviously with the issues that we've been dealing with, right? I haven't been traveling, so I haven't been going and seeing those different brands. So I would be interested in Zeitwerk.
So the captain in the chat saying that piece is almost as beautiful as Shiva.
Yeah.
Guys, you're gonna have to start giving disclaimers. We're not financial advisors.
We're not financial advisors. We're not giving anybody any financial advice. This is kind of
invest
a running
at your own risk.
Yeah, invest at your own risk. Yada yada yada. So Levi is asking SLC, what do you suggest as a starting point for a new watch collector? Great question.
My apologies.
Bless you, sir.
Sorry.
As a new watch collector, what would I suggest? I would say that go for anything that your gut or heart is pulling you towards, right? Like I would say try to get excited about a brand, whatever that is. It doesn't have to be it's so cool. Even though Cars and Chronos ruined it for us all.
Right.
Oh, the loom, when it's loom shotted, it's so cool.
Yeah.
But no, I would just start anywhere. Like it doesn't have to be super, super high-end stuff. Like even there's a lot of cool swatches. There's just a lot of cool watches.
Yeah, I think, to add as well, I think for a new watch collector, research your brands and go out and try on a lot of watches. So if you have I'm just going to throw something, a $2,000 budget, go out and check out watches that are in that range that can fit your budget. Look for particular things that you want to watch. Do you want a chronograph? Do you want a diver's watch? Do you want a dress watch? And then go out and actually try these brands on. And that's why I always joke about the Bell & Ross, and we're going to bring it up again. You know, people were knocking it in. You know, when you're looking at a flat dimensional picture, it looks so different on a screen than when you go out and actually try it on, because now you're
all
feeling
watches are nicer in person.
Of course,
yeah.
You're feeling that you're seeing a three-dimensional object now. You're feeling, you know, you're seeing how it's going to feel on your skin, how it's going to speak to you. So my encouragement would be, do your research, write down some models, find some jewelry stores or ADs in your area that have those particular models, and go out and try on a lot of fucking watches before you drop the money. Because, you know, if this is your first power piece, or you know, you're stepping up into something, you don't want to get home and regret something. So you don't have to run out and buy something right away. Take your time with it, because that may speak to you in that particular moment, and you go see something else that just completely blows you away. So take your time, build up your collection. And obviously we have a clear example of what, you know, someone can do with their collection and build up. So that would be my advice. Marco, anything to add? Or
yeah, before I guess, because I want to ask you something that kind of moves on, but I just want to give Toyota Mo the rundown of your collection, if you don't mind, one more time, just if you can.
Do you want me just to buzz through the highlights?
Quick run
okay.
through.
So we have Rolex Datejust 41. Okay, so we got that. We have Rolex Daytona. Okay. We have Aquanaut 5235.
Excuse me.
6119. 5960. Tudor and Tudor.
So cool. Yeah.
So I guess my question is, well, obviously you have, I guess, a very diverse collection, very mature collection, a lot of watches, right? First and foremost, does it give you anxiety at all picking out a watch to wear in the morning? And any thoughts of like the idea of, you know, consolidating an upgrade, right? You reached a certain point where you're like, shit, man, I got maybe one too many watches, or, you know, you just wear all the watches and enjoy everything?
So right now, the answer to that question is I'm enjoying everything. So I just, when I get up, I'm like, okay, well, what's going to go good with whatever I'm wearing, right, for that day, or what mood I'm in. And so my background is real estate. I'm a real estate broker, and I specialize in new construction home sales. So a lot of times I'm on job sites where I can't wear my higher end pieces, right? Because I don't want to well, can I give a story real quick?
Yeah.
I slammed this bad guy in a door doing a final walkthrough because I had the front door open and the garage door open, and it created a vacuum and shut it in on my wrist, and had to send it back after 3 months of ownership to Patek. So anyways, so just stuff like that, right? Like, I'm not going to wear it. I'm not like the cool dude at the gym that's wearing his Richard Mille. So
we're on the treadmill, right?
Yeah, on the treadmill. Like, yeah, great. So there's different spots for that. But no, so I think that I feel like my collection is, the amount of watches isn't significant to my collection. I think what I'm looking for is I'm looking at, right now for my current collection with Patek, I have annual calendars. I have a manual wind. I kind of the rotors, right? I have the micro rotor, the full rotor, and the manual wind. So I want to add 2 more watches, and then I'll be okay. I'll just chill out for a little while, maybe. And yeah, good. So I don't think I can downsize.
Couple questions. Omar says, what watch does SLC wear most and why?
I wear the Aquanaut the most right now because I feel like it's the most versatile. It dresses up, and it dresses like, here, put it on. You can see it. Yeah. With even like a blazer on, right? Like, oh, sorry.
Yep.
And they fixed the clasp on that, right? Now it's got that 4-prong.
So
clasp. It's way better, right?
This one is the 4-prong.
Yeah, it's so much better than the old clasp, to be fair.
Yep.
What was the issue with the old one, Marco? Was it just
so it wasn't as flexible, right? So if your wrist swelled up, the problem was it would get really tight, and there was no like this will adjust a little bit. Plus the rubber gives you some breathing room as well. But yeah, it's a much better fit overall.
So that would be my number one.
Cool. Levi's asking, which of your watches sparks the most conversation with fellow watch nerds?
That would be the 5235 for sure. That was the watch when I came on, and like I was just like on. I don't know what.
That was the first one you ever showed, I think, right? When you jumped on JJ stream, you're just like casual. I got a 5235G. You know what I mean? Like I'm just like Jesus Christ.
Yeah. It's that one gets the most.
Right.
It's cool.
Yeah.
Mike in the chat saying upvoted an epic collection. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate you just popping in. And we got another question here. SLC, thanks for sharing the collection. Really fun to see you. Hopefully, I'll see you at our next Horological Society of Utah event in November.
For sure. Planning on attending. So that'll be my first event that I go to. It'll be fun. Look forward to it.
Cool.
Anybody?
Go ahead. Yep, go ahead.
No, you mentioned wanting to get two watches. We know one of them is the 5320 now, right? I guess what's the other one? I want to know.
I don't want to sound like a hype. Can I say hype whore? I don't want to be a hype whore. I would like a 5712.
You know what? I don't blame you either, because of all the Nautilus, I'm not a fan of the Nautilus, admittedly. Right? I much prefer the Aquanaut and the Overseas. I think they're much more like their design is more modern, whereas the Nautilus and even the Royal Oak are a little. I don't want to say like dainty, but they're just a little more hip, right? I guess you can say the Aquanaut and the Overseas. But the 5712, I love the balance because the dial is a lot more busy versus the 5711, which is just plain. It's a lot of dial, and that's kind of an issue for me. But yeah, 5712 is a gorgeous piece.
So my draw to that particular watch, what I'm in love with, I love I'm a sucker for power reserve. Like I like to be able to see the power reserve on my watch. I like the moon phase. I don't have a moon phase watch now. Obviously, if I did get the 5320, that would have a moon phase. And then the micro rotor. It has a micro rotor, which I think it looks freaking sweet. The moon, that looks really nice. There's one more. What else do I like about it? The thickness of the case. It's only 8 millimeters, like 8.5.
Profile.
Yeah.
So Toyota Mo saying SLC watch collector thoughts on 5212.
Oh, that's a beautiful watch. The weekly calendar, right?
Yeah.
I would love that watch as well. I think the handwriting, that it's actually one of the Patek engineers' handwriting that they put on the dial, is incredible. It's such an awesome watch.
I'm so bummed because Nico got that in a week after I left, so I missed it by like literally 1 week, right? Listen, I got to see the 5231J. I would have loved to see 5212. Yeah.
I haven't seen a 5212. So
yeah, me neither.
I don't. But from all the pictures and everything, doesn't Cars and Chrono have one?
Yeah, he does have one.
Times.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful watch. So I would like that as well.
My one gripe, right, is now steel for Patek specifically is very special, right? They never used it, at least in the past. It would just be for the odd occasion, and it would be super special. They're starting to use steel a lot more, like the 6007. Now they did the 5212. They just released now the annual calendar chronographs in steel. There was the annual calendar with the blue dial in steel that they released this year as well, or last year. So they're starting to use steel a little more than I like, which is the only thing.
Do you feel like that's diluting their steel market? Like they know, like obviously they say that, hey, we don't want to sell steel watches.
Right.
But now we're going to offer still watches because of the demand. Do you think that that's like planned?
Yeah, 100%. They're doing it for a reason. They want to, because everyone's after a steel Nautilus, right? Steel Nautilus, be it, the chronograph, the travel time chronograph, whatever it may be, but specifically Nautilus, right? So I think by launching steel models, it kind of takes away from, I guess, the hype of the Nautilus. But to me, it's counterintuitive. They're two completely separate beasts, right? And it just kind of, it just dilutes the importance of but yeah.
If I was offered the 5205, I would probably buy it.
Yeah, I don't blame you either.
I would for sure. It's a beautiful watch, but I agree with you. I think that it's getting a little diluted.
So we got a chat from Blasted Furball. What's a good beginning Rolex? Steel Sports.
100% honesty. Go with the date just.
Yeah.
I think that it's going to give you. I mean, you can say subs are great, GMTs are great. They're awesome watches, but I think that you can still get an okay deal on a date just, and it is a wonderful watch. Just to wear all the time.
It's the classic style.
Classic.
And like I was saying, fluted bezel, Jubilee bracelet, that's how it has to be done. You know, I just don't like the smooth bezel date just. It just doesn't look right. Or, you know, or with the oyster bracelet, just doesn't look right. So got a question from the captain, or just saying SLC, great collection. What's your favorite brand other than Patek or Rolex?
So I would like to get into Longa. I'm interested in German watchmaking. That's kind of my next venture of watches. I am on Marco's side with Moser, which can I talk about is it okay to say like other videos that have been put out? Did you guys watch the video with the Moser CEO on Watchbox?
Yeah.
Dude, he's a cool guy, right?
They're
like
really cool.
That's a guy like he was totally excited about other brands, but still pumping his brand. And that interview, I mean, I've been interested in Moser, and I've been like, yeah, do your Moser thing, Marco. But I would like a Moser. So
yeah,
that'd be cool.
They could still be had for a good price, although the market has really strengthened. I'm still sad my deal fell through. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Like, I was trying to negotiate $500 more, and I was like, come on, it's a Moser, you know what I mean? And then it's gone, sold. Well,
that's what sometimes it gets you though, right? It's okay though. You'll find another one.
Right. But yeah, I'm with you. I share that. I think the philosophy at Moser, like the fact that I mean, we talked about me and Nico on that live stream the other day. They're not like stuffy old men, right? They're very, you know, they're very, I guess, in a world where it's a very serious, very pretentious, a little, you know, it can be a little intimidating. You know, Moser just is fun and new and exciting. And I really like that and admire that about the brand.
Yeah, they have fun with still high horology, right? Like that the Apple Watch, when I saw the center seconds and how it sweeps and the white sweeps with it.
It's so weird. Yeah.
Whoa!
It's cool, but
it blew my mind.
Yeah.
So no, it's a cool brand.
Listen, I still think some of their stuff, like the cheese watch and the Swiss icon, are like
it's a little much, right? Like
it's a little much, right? It's a little like, okay, maybe tone it down 10 notches, but yeah, I can appreciate the humor.
Yeah,
and that's maybe what they're trying to do, to just bring to that band, to get to that brand, to get that uptight feeling out of it. You know, you just do some fun pieces like that, and you get to laugh, and you know, it just kind of dumbs down that whole, like, you know, oh, I'm going to buy a Moser, you know, so.
Well, what's great about Moser too is that, you know, it's very like, okay, I guess I should preface this by saying I was about to say accessible high horology. It's still very expensive, right? But you're getting into some very serious pieces. Like we're talking about, you know, custom hairsprings, because they have a subsidiary brand where they make, you know, hairsprings for watches, custom balances and escapements. And this is stuff that you would have to pay an arm and a leg from a normal independent that you can get, you know, on the secondary market for, let's say, 12 US, 12, 14. Sometimes, you know, you can go as high as 20 US, if you will, if you want a specific model and dial that's very special. But yeah, I think Moser is just delivering a supreme level of quality for the price, that because of their sister company, right, which manufactures a lot of parts and ultimately allows them to provide pieces at better deals. I think Moser's just one to look out for the future, no question.
Yeah,
you've heard it now, folks. Marco put the stamp on it.
I tried to buy
Moser
one.
stock's gonna go up.
I tried to get one for myself. You know,
tomorrow, David SW prices are gonna double. So.
Right.
Anybody in the chat have anything else for SLC? I'm gonna probably wrap this up pretty soon. Listen, just before we get off, I'm going to do this Casio giveaway. If you guys don't mind hanging out for a couple minutes,
give it away.
Fun. So, listen, I first want to thank SLC for coming on. This has been a very, very fun time, and I'm really enjoying doing these on the channel. I know I'm going to have Marco on pretty soon and do a solo with him as well, but to kind of have someone on because listen, I'm very transparent on my channel. I'm not super into the high horology, but I learned a lot today. So thank you guys for both coming on. Marco, thanks for coming on and giving me some guidance and kind of taking us through this journey here on the channel today. If anybody has any last questions, let's get those in now. Sean's already popping numbers. I'm actually gonna do cards tonight. I got a big card deck, so we're gonna pick a card. So anyway, if you guys have any last questions for SLC, if not, do you want to plug your IG or anything like that?
Oh yeah, just SLC Watch Collector. Cool. Is my Instagram. I post every a couple times a week or whatnot, just watches I'm looking at or trying on. If you want to follow, that'd be great. If not, oh well. I just want to tell you guys though, I really appreciate both of you. AirPods suck. I really appreciate both of you and everything that you guys have done for the community. And just want to say, knowing all the drama and everything, I really appreciate it. And it's fun. So thank you guys for doing this and allowing us to have an outlet and be able to talk watches. And the brands don't matter. The level of watches don't matter. It's fun to have a community of people that are interested in something and can chat about that together. So thank you guys.
Yeah, I completely agree. And thank you for saying that. I mean, that's what I do here on my channel. I talk about every level of watch, and I encourage everybody just to go out and buy your first watch, have fun with it. Because this is what this does. Look, it brings people together, and that's what we're trying to do here and keep everything positive. And, and when you can have someone that's a special collector like SLC come over and share his collection, that's a special treat. And this is I have to say, is a very, very special stream to come on and actually do this evening. So thank you for sharing all of those fantastic watches and taking us through your journey. And it's just it's great to have people like you that are open to talking about it and elaborating on their journey. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Marco, any parting words? You want to plug for those people that don't know who this person is in the chat, please go over and subscribe to his channel.
I just want to thank SLC. It's always nice to, I guess, get somebody's perspective on how they build and develop their collection. And obviously, SLC has watches that for a lot of people are grail pieces. I mean, I'm talking for myself here. A lot of grail pieces. 5235 is definitely one I would love to own in the future. But it's always nice to get first person account of how these watches wear and ultimately what got them into watches, because it's what it's all about, right?
Yeah.
And absolutely. I mean, we started with a guest watch and we ended with Patek tonight, so that's pretty damn good. So hey man, congratulations. That's really good. So let's see. Mike says the artist formerly known as Watch Cardinal. All right, so let's do this. Let's give away this Casio before we get off air. Guys, stick around. There's 25 people in the chat. Don't leave. We're gonna do this. It's free. Now let me lay down some rules because people have not gotten this right. I'm trying to give this watch away. So I have the Casio, it's 2100 GA series or whatever the hell you call them. It's free for everybody to get into the drawing this evening. What I'm going to do, these are the rules. I'm going to pick a card out of the deck of cards. I will hold it. The person that picks the correct card is going to win. Also, you will have to reach out to me within 24 hours and provide me with an address that I can send this to. If you do not want to give up your private information, don't enter to win this free giveaway tonight, because I've been chasing multiple people down to get addresses and it takes them forever to get back to me. So at the end of the stream, 10 o'clock p.m., you're going to have 24 hours to get back to me. I'll have you reach out via my IG. It's down below. It's beyond_time_YouTube. You can message me there. I'll do a verification. I'll have you go back and do a comment on this video to verify that you actually are the person that won, so I can see your screen name, and then I will get this out to you. Again, guys, if you don't plan on giving an address that this can be sent to, don't enter, because you're going to just spoil it for everybody else. So let's do this real quick. I'm going to pick out a card out of this huge jumbo deck of cards, and I will hold it No jokers. So the jokers are out. So you guys know that. I took the jokers out. So I'm going to pick a card here and I will hold it up in the camera so you guys can't see it. And go. You guys can start putting up cards in the chat.
Wait, can you give us the suit at least? That'll be
no.
What? No, nothing.
And then when we get a winner, I'm gonna say stop. So nope, not 3 of diamonds, not 10 of diamonds, not 9 of clubs, not 8 of clubs. We got 3 of diamonds. No. King of hearts. No. King of diamonds. No. Queen of diamonds. No. 10 of spades. No. Queen of hearts. No. Nope. Keep going, guys. There's no winner yet. 7 of hearts. No. 4 of hearts. No. 8 of diamonds. No. 3 of hearts. No. Queen of spades. No. Marco's really going for it. Ace of diamonds. No. 6 of clubs. Marco wants this thing.
I want it.
Jack of spades. No. Keep going. Ace of diamonds. No. 10 of spades. No. Ace of hearts. No. 4 of clubs. No. Come on, guys. You can get this. Jack of hearts. No. 10 of hearts. No. 3 of hearts. No. Wow, this is taking a lot longer than I thought. I thought someone would have it by now. 6 of hearts. No.
What's the color? What's the color?
No, I'm not.
Red or... Yeah, this is impossible. There's 52 combinations.
There's 26 people. Jack of clubs. No, it's black. It's black. I'll give you a hint. It's a black suit. All right? Black suit. All right. Come on. This one's easy. That's another hint. Come on. It's easy. It's easy. It's the go-to card. Come on. I can't even believe I picked this card. What's the chance? I'll give you another one. Motorhead. Come on. Yeah, we got a winner. 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 Scott B. It is the ace.
I said ace. I feel like I said ace.
Say it.
No, I just
say it.
This giveaway is rigged. It's rigged. No, I'm just kidding.
Scott B, congratulations. You have won the brand new Casio. That's awesome, man. So
congrats, Scott.
So awesome. You got that. So what I need you to do, Scott, if you don't have IG, at least reach out to me on my email address, beyondtimeytc@gmail, or you can reach me at Instagram, beyond_time_YouTube. We'll get you verified. I'll have you, once this video posts, after we get off live stream, I have you go back. I'll have a little sentence that you can put in so I can verify that it actually is you. And I'll get this sent out to you sometime this week. So that was fun. You know, I love giving.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Giving back to the community, and that's what it's all about. And you know, now Scott has a story about, hey, where'd you get that Casio? So cool. Any parting words, guys? No?
Thanks for having us. Thanks for listening.
Cool. All right, guys, we are going to end this stream. Thank you so much for spending this hour and 15 minutes with us over here on the Beyond Time YouTube channel. I'm actually love doing these kind of collection piece reveals. And again, SLC, thank you so much. Marco, thank you so much. And we still have people, Captain in the chat, still saying 9 of hearts. Anyway, Marco, are you streaming anytime this week, or?
I will probably be streaming tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow night.
All right, guys, make sure to go over, check out Marco's channel. He's going to have a stream going tomorrow. And we're going to head out here. Again, thanks, guys, so much for hanging out with us. I'm going to do my outro. And, guys, we'll see you next time on the Beyond Time YouTube channel. Going to jump out on the mothership. Peace.